Hello, how are you? Won't you tell me your name? Hello, how are you? Won't you jump in my game? I have people in this world that don't like me very much, but that's alright. It's alright for a number of reasons. For one, my self-esteem, my self-worth, and your self-esteem and self-worth should not be reliant on other people liking and validating you as good enough, as worthwhile, as valuable. And with a channel like this, what could I expect? And I am just a mere mortal. I have my own quirks and eccentricities. I am my own, as are you, unique cocktail of my history, my coincidental family of origin, socioeconomic status, race, ethnicity, religion, the things that were born into me, and the things that I experienced, the way I interpreted them, and the way I choose to change and reorient the way I interpret them, the way I see the world. A nature-nurture combination that is unique to me. And I have bipolar and physical health conditions that are unique to me. I have a personality, a way of seeing the world, and a way of existing, just as each and every one of you do, that is entirely unique to you. All these presets and preconceived notions of what society values as important versus what actually is important in life, and what I determine to be important in life, what I am, what box I fit in, may or may not fit the box of what society, in my particular society, culture, etc., determines is important. Therefore, I am not important, depending who you're asking. And the same goes for you. And the same goes for the feelings and stories and narratives you've ascribed to yourself based on the traumas you've experienced in your past or mistakes you've made you haven't forgiven yourself for. Being less than, not good enough, unworthy, unattractive, unlovable, etc. If you can't love yourself, if you can't forgive yourself, you can't expect others to love and forgive you. So each of us is a conglomeration with our own perspective and our own personality and our own way of being that is entirely unique to us, given a culmination of nature, nurture, and perception, and growing and changing perceptions, maturity and experience, and the boxes we are placed in the society we are born in, the location and station and earth we are born in. You may be disliked simply because you don't check off a box in society that someone else values, society or personally, as being important. As far as your physical aesthetics, if you feel that you are ugly, unattractive, too fat, too thin, this goes for men and for women. There's more of a pressure on women because unfortunately more of our value is placed on our aesthetics than it are on men. But men too face a pressure to be strong, not too thin. I've known many a man who is slim in nature and they have their own version of body dysmorphia, always perceiving themselves as thinner than they are, slouching over to try and bulk up wearing larger oversized clothes to disguise their figure. You wouldn't figure that men are that concerned about their appearance, because in the way our society works, at least, men's value goes up as they age, because it is their commitment, their income, which is also shallow, but their commitment and their loyalty and their wisdom and intellect tend to expand as their age expands, and their hypermasculinity begins to come down a little bit. But everyone is put into a box, and you might be disliked simply because you don't fit into a box, and those boxes are arbitrary and shouldn't even be there. They're an unfortunate fact of life as it stands. So don't take to heart any box that makes you feel less than as being valid and relevant. Just like different donuts. Not everyone likes a jelly donut. Some people like a Long John. You may just not be your whole kaleidoscope of what makes you you at this particular given moment in time may not be everyone's cup of tea. They may prefer green tea to black tea. They may prefer a jelly donut to a cake donut. You just may not fit their preference for their position and station and current interests. Like attracts like, and we tend to want people in our life that are similar enough to us that we click and we can relate on common ground. And so we attract people that are like us, and we distance people that are unlike us. We also distance people that are unlike parts of ourselves that we don't like. So there may be nothing wrong with you inherently. I promise you there probably is not anything wrong with you inherently. People may distance you just because you're not in alignment with where they are at a given moment. Or you may have a character asset that reminds them of something that they are lacking in or that they dislike about themselves. Not just things that they dislike about themselves, not a bad character flaw. It may be envy. Your kindness, your happiness reminds them of their own unhappiness, their bitterness. And they don't like to look at that, so they don't like to look at you. So sometimes people turning us away are because we don't fit a box. This should never be there. Sometimes people turning us away is because we're just not their cup of tea. We're not in alignment with where they are right then and there. Sometimes people turning us away is because we actually possess good qualities that make them feel badly about themselves, and they don't want to look at that. The opinion that matters the most is the opinion you have of yourself when you're alone with yourself. How do you feel about yourself? Are you someone that you value and respect? Again, superficial beauty, I kind of got off track. Different strokes for different folks. Different folks like thick. Different folks like thin. I like men that are slender and non-muscular. That may not be the usual, but that's my preference. I like the scrawny men. And there is a taste for every entree of look that there is on the planet, so don't place too much stock on your superficial exterior as a reason for not being liked, and don't put too much stock in being liked by others. There's a lot of variables that are really irrelevant and have nothing to do with who you are and what you have to offer. You may not just be like attracts like the people that are nearest to you that you have available, so you haven't found that network. Or you put yourself, like I have, on a platform to be devoured alive by others. You put yourself out there, and there's going to be all sorts that surround you, and they may not like you for any number of reasons. And like I said, some of those reasons may be a positive attribute that you have that they are lacking, and it makes them feel insecure, and so they lash out. Some people just have nothing better to do than to tear other people down because they don't feel good about themselves. The person you should be working to feel good about you is you. You shouldn't be working to gain the approval of others, because there's so much that goes into the approval of others that is irrelevant, inconsequential, and changeable. And you just, these people might not like you, but you'd be just fantastic according to these people. And if you put your pendulum of happiness on that, you'll be swinging wildly all the time. You need to put your pendulum of, am I being the best version of myself that I can be, on you. What you think of yourself as a respectable, worthwhile, valuable individual. When you are alone with yourself, work on your character and be someone that you like. If you can like you, whether other people like you or not will not faze you nearly as much. And the more that you like yourself, the more confidently you can put yourself out in the world. And the more people will like you. I'm not saying to become egotistical. I'm saying to objectively, realistically, radically accept oneself for all that you are, and truly love and embrace yourself for all that you are. And work to become someone you respect, someone with authenticity, not duplicity, someone with integrity, someone of kindness and contribution, someone of good character, good attitude, someone that if you met yourself, you would want to be your own friend. Work toward that end. And you can't expect everyone to like you, because, honest truth, you know you don't like everyone you run across either, for a variety of reasons. And you can't expect double standards. You can't expect to have the freedom of choice to choose who you wish to associate with and who you wish to desire to be around you, who you like and admire, and for what reason. And not expect that others get to choose you out as someone that they, for whatever reason, do not at this juncture wish to include in their lives. They do not like you. You don't like everyone else either. If you get that right, they get that right, and you're not specially excluded from that. That's why it's important not to hang your hat on the approval of others, but on the approval of yourself. That will leave you less shaken by the shade thrown at you, or the general undertow of dislike and disapproval. I have a lot of critics. We all know that. Think what you want about me. I am who I am, and I know who I am. Know thyself. Forgive. Become someone you can love and respect. Someone you would want to befriend. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the night, when you go to sleep, it matters most not what they think of you, but what you think of you. If you are somebody that you value, love, and respect, you are solid and shielded from the dislike of others, because there's a million reasons why this could be the case, and you don't take it personal. It doesn't faze you, because your self-esteem and self-worth is not dependent upon the approval of others. It's dependent upon the approval of yourself to yourself. Uno, dos, tres. Let's read the quote again. I have a lot of critics. We all know that. Think what you want about me. I am who I am, and I know who I am. And you are who you are. And you are wonderful as you are. And as you become more and more okay with you, able to forgive and to love yourself and to become the highest version of yourself, someone you would want to befriend, someone you respect with integrity and good character, the less and less the opinions of others will matter. Good morning, goodbye, good day. Long video just to tell you, you are likable, you are lovable, you are wonderful. You just haven't found the folk who like your jelly donut. Good morning, goodbye. Love you guys.